welcome to Natty's Home Cooking. Today we are going to make the sourdough bread. We're going to start off with 3 cups of water to our bowl here. And I use about 3 cups and 1/8 cup altogether, 3 1/8 cups of water. Now we're going to use our starter. So we're going to have 1 cup and 2 teaspoons that we're going to add to this water. And my water is usually warm whenever I add the starter to it. I'm so sorry, my hand got in the way there. Do apologize. What? Yeah, my hand's always in the way, it looks like. Sorry about that, guys. So once you get your starter added to the bowl, go ahead and mix into the water. Make sure you use a wooden spoon. So we're going to mix that up really good, and it should be like a milky look water. And also you're going to want to add, you're going to want to feed your starter once you can get to it. Right now I'm going to just set it to the side. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my 8 cups of flour to the milky water here. Alright, now that we got the flour put into the starter water, we're going to go ahead and just mix this up really well. Okay, and once you get this all mixed up really well, we're going to let it sit for a little while. And it usually has to sit for like 30 minutes after we had mixed it. And then what we're going to come and do is come back after 30 minutes, and then we'll add the salt to the dough. So we're going to be adding around, for the sea salt, it'll be 4 teaspoons of sea salt, and then a 1/4 cup of water. So right now I'm just going to go ahead and feed my starter and then come back. Alright, so now that it's been 30 minutes, we're going to go ahead and add the 4th teaspoon, or 4 teaspoons of sea salt, and then we're going to go ahead and add a 1/4 cup of water. And then just mix it all in really well, because you want to break down that salt into the dough. So sorry, I had a phone call that I was talking to at that time. Sorry about that, guys. So I'm just going to go ahead and mix this up really well. It may feel kind of weird, but just keep working the dough, okay? So just keep like squeezing in and making sure all that salt gets mixed in well. Okay, once I get all this done, I'm going to let my dough rest for like 4 to 6 hours, and then I'm going to come back and get started. So I'm just going to let it rest. Okay, now that it's rested for about 4 to 6 hours, I'm going to come in and I'm going to take this dough out of the bowl. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of stretch and fold before I start shaping my dough into the bowls that I want to rest it in. So I'm going to get this all out of here. Okay, now that we got it out of the bowl, let's go ahead and shape this dough. So we're going to just do some little bit of stretch and fold before I start. I'm going to divide this dough into 2 loaves. So what I'm going to do is just kind of shape it a little bit. Get it worked up here a little bit. And it's starting to really form really good for me. So I'm getting comfortable with the dough now. Just keep stretching and fold it here. We're almost done. Okay, so I'm going to be cutting this in half. My dough looks very healthy, well, very bouncy. So I'm going to get a dough cutter. So give me 1 second. Okay, we're going to go ahead and cut the dough in half. Now I'm going to just work one dough at a time. It's really kind of sticky a little bit, but it's going to be fine. We just use just a little bit of flour so that we can kind of work with it, but right now I'm just going to deal with what I got right now. And then if I need to add a little bit of dough, a little bit of flour to my hands, I can, or a little bit of water is fine too. So just go ahead and do a rectangle of the dough like how I'm doing it. Just keep working with it, stretching it out, just like that. And then we're going to do a half fold and do the other half fold, just like that. Okay, and then now we're just going to roll it up, and then this is where we're gonna drag it onto the table, back and forth. Okay, this is where I'm going to kind of dust my hands with some flour and just keep doing this. Pull, push and pull is the method that they use. So push and pull when you're doing your dough, getting ready to shape it. Just push and pull. You can use flour, you can use water. I use both sometimes. I'll either switch it out. I'll use water or I'll use the flour. No biggie. And just keep doing this for a little while. Okay guys, now that I've got my dough done, it's pretty bouncy. I've already let it set for 2 hours, and I've already done my roasting pan in the oven for about 25 minutes to heat up really well so that I can stick my dough in it. And I'm going to get ready to start putting cuts on the dough so that I can stick it in the oven and get it started. I'm just adding a little bit of flour on top of the dough here so that I can start doing the cuts on top of it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and make my cuts. You can make whatever design you want. I'm just trying to just do a little bit of somewhat of a design, which I don't even know what I'm doing here. Just putting in some little cuts here and there. Okay, and I'm just going to cut around. There we go. Okay, now that I've got that done, I'm going to get ready to put it into the pot. Okay, now that we got it into the pot, you want to add a little bit of water, just a tiny little bit underneath the paper so that that steam can help rise up the dough even more when it's cooking. Not a whole lot, just a little bit like that. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and cover it with the lid, the roasting lid, and then we'll put it in the oven, like I said, covered for about 25 to 30 minutes so that it cooks really, really well. Okay. All right, look at that. Guys, I'm gonna make me some sweet tea real fast. There's nothing like a good old Texas sweet tea, so I'm gonna make some sweet tea real quick, and we're gonna get started cutting this bread here in a second. Look how pretty that looks. It's beautiful. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start cutting it. I love the ends. These are my favorite. but I am going to make some grilled cheese sandwiches. Once you put it in the refrigerator, the butter, it starts to harden up more, and it's going to be a little bit more harder to spread out, but it's all right. Oh, that butter smells so good. Homemade butter. All right. Looky there. Wow. Beautiful. Wow. That is so good. That's all. You gotta try. Wow. Isn't that butter good? Mm-hmm. It is so good. Wow. All right. That is super amazing. You can have the rest of it here. Some bread for that. Make sure you have a serrated knife when cutting your bread. Beautiful. Okay, there's one.